Tackling the problem of oncocercosis, river blindness in Cameroon, has taken decades and will continue to take decades. This isn't a problem that will go away with just one vaccine. This requires years of effort, engagement, coordination, partnership. You have government and non-government agencies working, you have the communities, and most important of all, you will need the community for buy-in.
I can say we are at the beginning of the end. We need to keep up with the intervention until the parasite disappears, or the disease will bounce back and our investment will be lost.
Oncocercosis is a parasitic disease. At the individual level, the main consequences are severe skin diseases, the leopard skin, the lizard skin, and blindness. That's why we call this disease river blindness. Those who are infected suffer because of the disease and also from social exclusion, because these leopard and lizard skin induce social rejection.
Beginning of the control of oncocercosis, mainly in West Africa in year 70s, the disease is so prevalent. It is estimated that more than 46% of the population aged 15 and more are likely to become blind.
You have a human being who's infected, they have the parasite that lives in them, it creates these microfilaria that are in the skin. A black fly bites that person that has that, it picks up the microfilaria, it has a part of its life cycle that happens in that black fly, then the black fly bites a person. You have this very complex life cycle that happens that involves different animal species, and it's invisible during its early stages of infection. So you can't have people help you with your surveillance, because by the time you see disease and you start to have the skin infections and you start to have, there's been transmission happening for years and years and years. So the thing that we do have is that because the parasite life cycle is very complicated, you have many ways in which you can approach solving the problem. We also have an incredible drug that works really well in ivermectin. Ivermectin is incredibly powerful, incredibly safe, and donated free for use within the program.
Ivermectin, under the name of mectizan, is a very tiny pill that was invented by Merck late 80s to fight against river blindness. The tablet is given to population once a year, but a single dose is not enough, because the most very important thing is the ivermectin or mectizan is very effective on getting rid of the symptoms. However, the disease is still transmitted. If you stop prematurely, of course, it will bounce back the disease and reach the initial level. That's why it's critically important that we make sure that the transmission is interrupted before intervention can be safely stopped.
For the elimination of oncocercosis, we need at least 15 years of treatment, because ivermectin we use for the treatment of oncocercosis does not have effect on adult worms. Ivermectin destroyed microfilaria but does not kill adult worms.
So the difficulties in eliminating oncocercosis are big. right? So the parasite itself actually lives 15 to 20 years. And our drugs currently only kill the larval stage of this, but it doesn't kill the adult worm. The adult worm continues to live. You basically have to treat everybody that's infected and get all of the population at risk and keep them covered with drug for 15 to 20 years to wait for the adult worms to die. That's a huge global health push, right?
In the past, we are only working in communities where the disease is causing blindness and a skin disease. Now, we have to go to every single hamlet and treat every single person so that a parasite doesn't anymore circulate between the vector and the people.
We have a communication challenge with some of the younger generations who don't see that they're themselves at risk, and you need them to continue to take the medications in order to get the parasite out of circulation in the environment.
To convince people in some communities to take ivermectin now is difficult. I used to treat oncocercosis in the Mbam Valley, for example, personally. And when I came to communities with ivermectin, I have a very long line in front of me of people coming to take ivermectin. They used to fight to take ivermectin. But now with the improvement of the situation in communities, they don't see why they would continue to take ivermectin. So that's why we are experiencing huge difficulties in treating communities where the disease is still endemic for the moment.
With more than 50 years of fight, they may have some fatigue from even the government and the donors.
We have some success, but the fear is that this success we've got could be destroyed by the fatigue of donors, because the donors have been helping for the control of oncocercosis for so many years. So now they are saying, what is this disease that will continue to fight forever? And the populations on their own are saying, how is it that we continue to take the drug? So to avoid fatigue from both sides, we really need a punch at this moment. Because, as we said, the last mile is the most difficult.
The parasitic diseases are ones that we can eradicate. It's definitely an achievable goal, and one that we should achieve, because no one should have to suffer through the incredible suffering of the uncontrollable itching and going blind from a parasitic infection that's preventable.